everybody. Welcome to Babylon Bullshit, Hopeless and Bitter. My name is Will.
I'm Lilith.
And this is a podcast for two people who are wildly unqualified to give any sort of dating advice, give you dating advice. I say this at the beginning of every episode, and it needs to be repeated. Please, for the love of God, take everything we're about to say with the largest grain of salt you can find.
A mound of salt.
Yeah.
A mound. Please.
This is comedy. If we stumble into good advice, I promise you it was not intentional. But today's episode is going to be a little different because we're going to dive into love languages. Mm-hmm. And as Lil will explain, because they have the psychology degrees, love languages are actually incredibly important. And that I do know. I have theater degrees, so I don't know the same way you do.
Yes.
But I do know that they're important.
Yeah.
I know mine.
Okay. What are your love languages, Will?
Words of affirmation.
Okay.
Touch.
Okay. Are those your giving, receiving? Like, is the words of affirmation giving?
Giving and receiving.
Okay. And the touch?
Receiving.
Okay. All right.
Mostly because I don't know how often other people shower, so touching them seems like it could go badly.
That's fair. Fair.
I know how often I shower, so I'm cool with it. It's fucking daily. If that's not, just bathe yourselves, people. Come on, it's not hard.
I will say that in the winter you shouldn't bathe daily.
In the winter, I honestly don't, because
It's bad for your skin, actually.
Yeah.
That's actually very bad for your skin because it's dry.
Yeah, and I'll be honest.
And you're not sweating that much in the winter.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I'm like a pasty ass white dude, so like I moisturize all the time.
Same.
Because I have to, because otherwise I will look like the Crypt Keeper. So, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I know these things, and I can be completely heterosexual until you use moisturizer without it somehow being effeminate. I don't understand that.
I mean, moisturizer is an important part of...
It just moisturizes your skin. That's literally all it does. Doesn't make you a girl. Like, what the hell? I hate people so much. But no, so love languages, what are yours?
My love language, I only have really the one, and it is words of affirmation. That's both giving and receiving.
But I know you. So, okay, and this is actually important too. So people generally assume that words of affirmation has to be clearly stated compliments.
No.
I know you. Mm-hmm. You have known each other for a very long time.
Yes, like 15 years?
It's been a while. I don't know how you put up with me for this long, but...
Honestly, I have no idea.
No clue. But I know you. 90% of the time when you're insulting me, it's because it's your way of giving a compliment.
Yeah.
That's just how you are.
Yeah.
The same applies for when I'm talking to you. Mm-hmm. Half the time when I'm calling you an idiot, it's because you've done something I'm impressed by. And you know that.
Yeah.
And so words of affirmation don't have to be outwardly incredibly complimentary.
Correct.
They have to be complimentary to the person receiving them. That's the end of that. Like, our relationship to an outsider would seem abusive.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Didn't you say, I was listening to one of our episodes the other day, and here's the thing, I do listen to all of our episodes when they come out. I have a very obnoxious laugh, my God.
Well, I'm glad you finally noticed.
Yeah, no, I am. My normal speaking voice is very dulcet and lovely, but when I laugh, I'm like, oh God.
I hate my speaking voice, but okay.
I have a very low tone.
Yeah,
which is great. But when I laugh, I'm like, oh, I hate it. But you said that a friend had called you after listening to one of our episodes, and they were like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, they listened to an episode and were genuinely concerned that you were like abusive towards me. I'm like, well, I mean, they are a little, but like we've been friends for so long that I understand where that abuse is coming from. That is how Lil expresses affection. That's just how you are as a person.
Yeah.
I know that on its surface, without a deeper understanding of you as a person, it can seem like you're one step away from stabbing me in the throat, which you honestly usually are. But that's just how you are. Your words of affirmation are not usually just outright compliments.
Not always. I mean, it depends on the person too. Like with you, I know that I can say semi-abusive things, and you know that, like, one, I'm joking, and two, it is my way of complimenting you.
Yes.
That when you say something, funny, and I just go, "You're a fucking idiot," you're like, "Oh my God, thanks. That means I'm funny."
Yep. No, it's true. And this is the words of affirmation kind of like trick.
Yeah.
You have to be able to speak the other person.
Yeah.
Everyone
absolutely.
speaks their own individual language. You have to be able to speak the other person.
Yeah, absolutely. I know my friends well enough and know how to compliment them in different ways. And with you, it's a very specific way of complimenting you. There are times where I know when you want a genuine, actual compliment. When you send me things that you write, for example, I know to give you a genuine compliment.
But you also give me honest feedback.
Yes.
And that's the other part. People who, and this is something you can correct me on this if I'm incorrect. People who, for whom words of affirmation is either giving or receiving love language. If they're giving compliments, those compliments are going to be sincere.
Yes.
This is not just things that are said to make you feel good about it. They mean what they're saying.
Yes, absolutely.
If I compliment somebody on anything, I mean every word of it. But that's also why for someone like you, when I ask you for your honest opinion on something, I know that you're not just going to tell me what I want to hear. Because that's not how your brain works. Also, I don't think you could just tell me something that I wanted to hear.
No, I could never do that.
That's how I'll know when you've been like replaced with a pod person.
I'm a little too black and white for that a lot of the time. I'm on the spectrum, so a lot of things I say can be very black and white and sometimes can be a little bit blunt.
A little.
So I feel like sometimes some of my feedback people take as rude. And
I have no idea why they would do that.
I know, yeah.
Weird.
But there are, I mean, like you ask for genuine feedback, and I know that you actually want it, and so I will give you genuine feedback. When you send me something that you've written, you're like, please tell me something honest about it, and I will tell you.
Yeah, and this is the thing with people for whom words of affirmation is either giving or receiving love languages. They want to tell you honest. They want to say or hear honest things, real things.
Yeah.
If I tend to prefer to give compliments rather than receive them. I've spent years doing behind the scenes work in theater and stuff, so we don't get noticed, and I'm cool with that. So getting explicit compliments, like every now and then they'd bring the production crew on stage. Could not tell you a more awkward moment for me. I hated every second of that.
Yeah.
But telling the other production crew, the actors, that they did a great job and meaning it, that I would rather do that for 12 hours a day than receive one 5-second sincere compliment.
Yeah. You're more of a feedback person when it comes to words of affirmation, not a compliment person.
Yeah. I want to know if what I'm like when I give you bits of my writing, I don't want to know if it's good or not. I never ask you that.
No.
I want to know, does it read the way that I want it to read?
Right.
Am I telling the story well? Am I introducing characters well? And
Yeah.
And that's another misconception about words of affirmation is it's not always just, hey, you look pretty today or something. It's words that make you feel good regardless of what those words actually are.
Right. Absolutely. Like I said, I know a lot of my friends well enough that like I know what affirmations they want. And I have a group of friends that I go to shows with, and all of them want affirmations in different ways.
I think everyone wants their affirmations in slightly different ways. Yeah.
I have one friend who, doesn't really get normal compliments frequently. And so for her, it's always telling her she's beautiful, telling her I love her, telling her she's wonderful, telling her she's very strong and lovely.
Yeah.
Another one is, telling her she's funny. And that's that's something that I like to tell her all the time, because like I'm someone who, toot my own horn, I'm hilarious. I know I'm very funny. Stop it. I know I'm very funny.
6, 7 out of 10, yeah.
I'm hilarious. And usually I'm the funny one in my group of friends. She's funnier than me. Like, hands down, so much funnier than I am. Like, because she's so quick.
I know exactly that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
she's so fast with things. And every time she's faster than me on something, I'm like, God damn it, Amber. I'm like, stop being quicker than me. I'm so mad at you. And I tell her that. I'm like, why are you so fucking just naturally funny? And she laughs, because she's just like, I don't think I'm like, no, you are funnier than me. And honestly, it's offensive how much funnier you are than me. And I love it, but also I hate it a little bit. And she always gets all red faced, because she's just like, oh, thank you.
Because that's exactly what she wants to be complimented on. Yeah,
exactly. And I have another friend who loves to be told how kind she is. And so I always make sure to tell her, like, you have such a big heart and you're so kind. And I love how accepting you are of everyone. And another friend, really loves being told that I respect how good she is at holding grudges.
Okay, that's a fucking gift, all right?
It is.
Like,
it really is.
I don't have the energy or patience to hold a grudge.
I know. I've gotten very good at it. Like, it's taken a lot of time.
I've tried to get good at it. I honestly...
I'm a lot better. Now I'm really good at it. Now I'm like, oh, you fucked me over?
By like day 3, I've forgotten why. Like,
oh, no.
Yeah.
Now I'm definitely like, you fuck me over once, you're dead to me. Now I literally forget who people are. No. Like, but before it was, oh, you fucked me over. Okay, I can forgive you 16 times.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, one time, you're dead to me.
This is also just a getting older thing. You just have less patience the older you are.
Oh, I don't. Yeah. I do not have the patience. I do not have the time. If you do not make time for me,
there are not enough hours in the day for me to do my shit and also make sure that I make time for your shit. So,
exactly.
We have to find a happy medium. If you're not willing to work with me on that,
exactly,
I got better shit to do.
Exactly. So I that's one thing that I always tell her. So whenever she talks about how she has no problem holding a grudge on somebody, I'm just like, I just respect that so much. I love how you can hold a grudge so easily that you're just like, we're done here. It's done. We're over. I'm like, God, I fucking love that about you. And she's just like, oh my God, thank you.
It's probably important to mention that this can sound like it's just telling people what they want to hear, but everyone has different parts of their personality or, parts of themselves that they focus the most on. Yeah. And being able to notice that and tell someone that you see that makes that person feel seen.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what words of affirmation is at its core.
Yes.
You're telling someone that you see them,
it's not always a physical thing.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part is I think people confuse.
You're seeing them, not you're seeing the real them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that people confuse words of affirmation as just compliments.
Yeah, it's not that at all.
And don't get me wrong, compliments are a big part of it, but it's not just that. Like, for me, words of affirmation, it's a whole spectrum of things. Yeah. Sometimes it is the insults. Like, I have no problem, like, with you when you give me the words of affirmation and you're just like, you are such a fucking bitch. I'm like, oh my God, stop it.
Most of my words of affirmation to you is me finding different ways to call you a raging cunt.
And it is my favorite thing. And I literally am just like, oh my God, stop. You're making me blush.
But that's
like, I love it.
It's you and I have a similar relationship to me and one of my sisters. Mm-hmm. She's the same way you are.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of practice with that. And then when I met you, I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
I know. I got this.
And I think it started because, like, there was a day where I can't even remember, like, how it started. But, like, you said something about me acting like a bitch. And I just looked and you were like, I was like, you're pronouncing it wrong. It's cunt. Yeah. And you were like, well, you also noted.
You also got wrong with you also got mad at you for saying acting like. No.
Yeah.
Not acting like am.
Yeah, exactly. I need you to say it right.
And that's when you started to realize that, like, verbally sparring is our way of
And it was it works out. And then, you know, my partner, for example, learned about a year into our relationship that, like, I need him to tell me that he loves me, that he cares about me, that he thinks I'm pretty. Like, those are the words of affirmation I need from him.
Yeah.
Because after about a year, he stopped doing that, and I almost broke up with him.
This is one of those things. Now, this is true for any love language. Mm-hmm. When you first start dating someone, you really do lock into what works for them, whatever their love language is. Mm-hmm. And you make sure to do that.
You have to learn.
Yeah.
You have to learn their love language.
But once you learn it, you make sure to do that because you want to express to that person how much you care about them and through their love language.
Yeah.
But as a relationship gets more comfortable, as time goes on, it's not uncommon for people to stop trying as hard.
Exactly.
And that's not a fault. That's not a failing.
No.
It's this, like, you hit this like comfortable lazy point in a relationship.
Yes.
There's a friend who's she's a stand-up comedian, and she's been dating the same guy for years, and he is also a comedian. They tend to tour separately. So if, you know, she's in Los Angeles, he'll be in New York, and they'll go months without seeing each other. But they have a rule. Every other month, they meet up in Wichita, which is where they're both from. Mm-hmm. And they go a complete week, no phones, no computers, just spending time with each other because both their love languages are quality time.
Oh, I love that.
And they completely disconnect. They see their families. They go back. They focus on each other.
Oh, I love that.
Every other month for a week, without fail. Because they damn near broke up several times because their careers were obviously important to them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And they realized they can't do that and expect the relationship to work.
Yeah.
Quality, then, you know, we're going to try to move our way through the whole list of these, but quality time is one of the hard ones. For anyone listening to this, you might feel that your love language is somehow all of them. And that's fair. I do enjoy spending quality time with people that I care about. I also enjoy getting gifts and giving gifts. Just because you enjoy it doesn't make it your love language.
Correct. Now, one of the biggest things is when you learn the love language of your friends, your partner, or partners, if you are in that situation.
If you're in that situation, you have so much more patience than I do. like seriously, love it that you're happy, but good God, that sounds exhausting.
It's very important that you not only learn their love languages of giving and receiving, that you respect and help them with those.
I dated a woman for about a year. Her quality time was absolutely her love language, without a doubt. But her version of quality time simply meant being together. We didn't even have to be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Sometimes you just body double.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think our record, because this is when we were both in college. I was working on, I can't remember what I was working on, and I gave up for the night because it was a paper that wasn't due for a few weeks. Mm-hmm. She was working on her thesis. I'm sitting on my couch playing video games. She's just leaning on me, writing on her laptop. We didn't talk for 6 hours. Didn't have to.
Yeah.
Just there together.
Yeah.
That was it. And that was what she wanted. She didn't need to be, just yapping in my ear for 6 hours. She just wanted to be
Together.
physically with me while she did something else. Yeah. And I've told that story to friends of mine who have given me looks as though I just admitted to being an alien. They're like, well, how the fuck did you, what? That makes no sense. Like,
no, that's very normal.
Yeah.
That's very normal.
She was busy working on her thesis, which I could not assist with because she was a math major and I cannot do math. So, like, yeah,
Right.
I'm not going to be helpful here.
Yeah.
She simply wanted to be in physical proximity to me, which that I can absolutely do.
Yeah.
That's all she needed from me.
Yeah.
Was to physically be right there.
Sure.
Easiest thing in the world. She wasn't asking me to physically be inside a volcano. She was asking me to physically be on my couch.
Yeah.
Got it.
Right. So when like I was saying, when, it was early in our relationship and my partner, early on, he was very complimentary and all of that.
Honeymoon phase. Yeah. You want to. Yeah.
Of course. And he was still getting in my pants. So of course he was like, yeah, I'm going to tell you all the nice things.
If I say these things and then you have sex with me, I'm going to assume that me saying these things influenced whether or not you had sex with me.
Exactly. And then eventually he stopped saying those things. And so I was like, okay, well, he doesn't think those things anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's how my brain connects it, is if you don't say those things, then you don't think them anymore.
And this is the thing with love languages. You do have to keep them up.
Exactly.
Like,
it's important.
Yeah.
So I was hanging out with him and I was very clearly not in a good space. And he finally asked me, like, are you okay? What's going on? And so I told him, you don't think I'm pretty. And he was like, what? He was like, when did I say that? And I'm like, well, you don't tell me. You haven't told me that in months.
I mean, you kind of look like a troll doll with the green hair, but like...
Right. No, that's fair. I think I had pink hair at the time. But
sorry, I've been trying to work that joke in all day.
I was like, well, you haven't told me that in months, and you don't really say anything nice to me anymore. Like, you only tell me you love me when we're getting off the phone. Like, you just don't say anything.
I'm guessing he assumed that he'd said it so many times that you simply knew that he thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was he was like, well, I didn't think I needed to tell you all the time because, like, you should just know that I do. And I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
Now,
so
what are his love languages?
So his main love languages, so his giving love languages, giving gifts, loves to give gifts, fucking loves it. It is his absolute favorite thing in the world. And then receiving is quality time.
Yep. And that's why he was so confused about you not having...
He thought because he was giving me things, because he was very good at giving gifts, because he got me a nice birthday gift, he gave me good Christmas gifts when we very first started dating, he thought that was enough. And because he spent time with me, he thought that was enough.
And this is where the miscommunication in love languages tends to happen to
Correct.
a lot of people.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I went, no, that's not how that works. And he was like, I don't understand. He was like, okay, well, then you need to explain it because I'm not getting it. So I told him, are you breaking shit?
I don't know, maybe.
Jesus. So I explained, okay, there are love languages. And very clearly, you like giving gifts. That is how you show your love. Mm-hmm. And you like receiving your love by spending time with me.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay.
This is kind of the beauty of love languages. Once you explain it to somebody, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
But until they've heard it explained,
yeah, he didn't understand.
Yeah.
And then I told him, I said, I like to show my love by words of affirmation. So I tell you nice things. And he goes, oh, yeah, you do. And I said, I like receiving love with words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. And he was like, oh, so you need to hear nice things. And I said, yes, I need to hear nice things. I'm like, I don't care about presents.
Yeah.
I do not care. You can give me nice things all fucking day. It does not matter to me. That is not you showing me love.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate that, but I don't want them. I want you to tell me things.
And that's why it's so important to know your partners or your friends' love languages.
And he finally, like, it clicked. And so he finally went, oh, okay, I'm going to try to do better. And he did. And he started to, like, figure it out. And at first, he's... Bless him. He's okay. He's a man, so he's a little dumb. But
I'm waiting for you to go all southern to go, bless his heart.
Bless his heart. He's a man, so he's a little dumb.
Yeah, we are. It's true. I'd like to argue with that, but
men are a little dumb.
I know.
Yeah, it's fine. He is very smart, but he's very dumb.
Yeah.
To quote my mom, who is a brilliant woman and has said very smart things in her life, men are born stupid and they die idiots.
I love your mom so much.
And she's
fantastic.
not wrong.
She's not. I mean, I'm going to go back to a Robin Williams quote here. God gave men two heads and only enough blood to operate one at a time. He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Your mother's not wrong either.
Yeah.
And
like, it is what it is. So he started with only complimenting me, like, when I looked nice. Which is very nice.
But
Thank
that's
you.
not when you want to hear it.
I tried. Thank you for telling me that I look pretty when I have makeup on. But I would like to hear it other times.
Yeah.
And then, eventually he figured out, oh, you want to hear it like other times, like when I'm feeling sad. Okay. So he eventually, like, after a while, on days that I wasn't feeling great, he would look at me and be like, you look really pretty.
And he's learned. Yeah. So
and
so
now
he's learning.
he has finally figured out, like, there are days where, like, I will be in my fucking Grogu onesie. Hair hasn't been washed in 3 days. I, like, have been bumming around for however long, just not doing shit. And he'll just be like, look at you looking all pretty. And I'm like, I look homeless. But
see,
thanks.
This is...
You know what I mean? Like, but that's when I'm just like,
this is where a lot of people whose receiving love language is words of affirmation tend to throw other people off. Because I'm assuming when he compliments you when you're looking like garbage, the first thing you'd say is, I look like garbage. What are you, fucking blind?
I usually, like, when he does that, I don't actually say that. Like, he'll be like, especially if I have my Grogu onesie on and I have the hood up because it has, like, the little Grogu face on it and the little ears. So I'll, like, walk around and he'll just be like, you look so cute. And I'm like, thanks.
There are so many... Sometimes it's really... It can be really awkward if your love language is not the same as somebody else's. Mm-hmm. If your receiving love language is not the same as someone else's giving love language, it can be very weird for both people involved.
Yeah.
And when I tell the story, the person who this is, when she listens to this, she will know exactly who she is. She's one of my dearest friends.
I'm so sorry in advance that he's telling this story.
No, she'll love that I'm telling the story. Her giving love language is acts of service. Hands down, that is not even a question.
Okay.
So I got, on Tuesday, I got a wisdom tooth removed. My last one. I just have bad wisdom teeth. They don't grow in straight. They fuck up my mouth. They have to come out.
Sure.
But I got home from that, and I'm laying on my couch. I'm on painkillers. I'm literally useless for the day.
Yeah.
And she texted me and asked how I was doing because she knew that I was getting a tooth pulled. And I told her that my mouth hurt, and I was like, "Well, I'm kind of hungry, but, like, I'm not getting off my couch." I took the painkillers. Sure. And 15 minutes later, I get a text that says, "Check your door," and she's left really soft chicken noodle soup.
Oh.
That I didn't ask her for that. That's just who she is as a person.
Oh.
And it was delicious.
Nice.
It was delicious. But that's who she is as a person.
Yeah.
But And I could not appreciate her more because this is just what she does.
Yeah.
But I always feel really awkward when she does that, when she does stuff like that for me. Because it feels like she's going out of her way and I didn't ask her to. Because I don't like to ask people to go out of their way for me.
Yeah. But that's what people whose love language that's acts of service, that's what they do. It's not going out of their way.
No, they want to do that.
They want to do it. I have one of my best friends, also her love language is acts of service. And a big part of that is she had to grow up a little bit fast is the problem. She's the oldest child.
Yeah.
And
my friend that I mentioned as well is the oldest of several.
So she's the oldest of 3, and her mom had her a little young, and so she essentially, so it was her. About 18 months later, it was her sister, and like 18 months after that, it was her brother.
Oh wow, okay.
It was literally like one after another.
So Irish triplets, yeah,
essentially, and
That's not offensive to anyone who's Irish. It's just a joke. Sorry.
And her mom was young
Yeah.
when she had the kids. Like, that was just what it was. And she not only had to take care of her siblings, essentially, she had to take care of her mom.
Yeah.
So because her mom was like 20.
So she had to grow up pretty quick.
Yeah, she had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
And because of that...
Giving is simply how she interacts with people. Yeah.
So she is an acts of service person. She always has been. She always will be. And it is just who she is. And I appreciate her so much because the amount of time she has taken care of me.
But it can be super awkward to be on the receiving end.
It is because I'm just like, I'm older than you.
Yeah.
I am almost a full decade older than you, and you are taking care of me. But I appreciate it so much.
My friend who brought me the soup, this is one that I ended up giving her $45 in cash for this. Like, I was flying back from Los Angeles. I get to the airport only to find that my ride wasn't there.
Oh,
I am repeatedly calling, and, you know, it's 2023. At this point, everyone texts. If you're getting a call, it's because it's fucking important.
Right.
And my ride's not answering.
Oh, Jesus.
So I go on Uber, and it's going to be 45 minutes till an Uber can get there.
Oh, but no one wants to sit at the airport.
I'm
that
just like,
long.
well, fuck it. Like, I don't have a choice. I'm going to wait for an Uber. And so I post on social media that I'm stuck at the airport waiting. 15 minutes later, I get a text from her like, "Hey, where are you at the concourse?" I'm like, "What the fuck? I didn't ask you to do that." I never have to. And this is why we love having her around, because she loves doing these things. But I gave her gas money. Like, the airport's not near where the airport around here is not near where anyone lives. But
right, yeah.
but still, like, if you're not comfortable with someone else's giving love language, or you don't know them real well, it can be really awkward to be on the receiving end of it, especially if your love languages don't match.
Yeah. It took me a while with my friend. Now I'm okay with it because because
you do adapt a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely took me a little bit. Like, now I'm fine because now I'm like, I know that this is just who you are as a person. I know that you are. This is comfortable for you.
Yeah.
But it definitely took me I would say it took me probably about a year or two of friendship with her.
Yeah.
To get used to her taking care of me. Because like we would hang out and like we would get like an Airbnb and we'd order food and then we would finish up and then she would just start cleaning. And I'm like,
she's group mom, isn't she?
Kinda.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and like when it's all of us, our friend Beth is group mom because she's the oldest of us, and her and her husband Joe are absolutely like, they're mom and dad.
Yeah.
We call them mom and dad. Neither of them are much older than I am, mind you.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
But like literally, they're like, Beth is 12 years older than me. Like, she's not much older.
Group mom from my group of friends is actually younger than me by several years.
But
so,
they are mom and dad.
Yeah.
You know, they take care of us. But when it's the smaller group, Tara is absolutely, she's group mom because she just takes that responsibility.
Yeah. She doesn't ask. She doesn't. No. And this is
until we tell her no.
And then she hates it.
We got it. You have fun. And she's just like, okay. And then she drinks a whole bottle of wine.
There you go.
And then we take care of her. And she's just like, this is great. But like, we have to force her to have fun. Otherwise, she handles it. But it's so funny.
I think everyone in giving and receiving does appreciate all love languages to some extent or another. You just have the ones that really hit the spot for you.
Yes.
People whose love language is acts of service, whether giving or receiving, especially those for whom it's giving, you do kind of have to every now and then kind of sit them down and be like, no, I will slap you.
Yeah.
Fucking no, stop it.
Yeah.
Fucking stop it.
Yeah.
And
yeah, my friend Amber, I have to tell her to stop.
Yeah.
Because she's an acts of service and gift giving. And she lives alone. She has a house. She lets us stay.
Yeah.
She lives in Louisville. So, like, we have friends in Nashville and in Alabama. So she's kind of like, kind of on, well,
I mean, I
not
love
fully,
Alabama.
not fully by choice because the job is there. And so, you know, but Amber's kind of on the way. So she's like, if anybody needs to make a stop, you're welcome, you know? And I have just like, she's not even home. I have the code to her house. And so like, I just go in and I, stay. And she's just like, you can just stay at my house. It's fine. And I'm like, please stop. And she's just like,
nope.
No. And we all are just always welcome at her home.
And this is
regardless of if she's home or not.
This is one of those things.
She
like
buys us groceries.
Yeah. There's
stop it.
One of my favorite people in the world is a friend of mine who lives in Chicago. He has an incredibly high paying job that forces him to travel basically all the time. So we have an open invitation to stay in his condo in Chicago that costs a stupid amount of money. Literally open invitation. Anytime we want.
Yeah.
I know that his love languages are not acts of service in any way. For him, it's simply a practical thing. He paid all that money for the condo. He's only there 3 months out of the year. He figures someone should use it. But every time we go, it's fully stocked with groceries.
Yeah.
He's told the door guy in the building that we're coming, so the door guy knows all of our names, which first of all is fucking impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we get the same deal in Chicago. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
And this is a friend that I wish I saw more often. Travels so much I don't get to see him that often.
Yeah.
But he leaves it there for us to use. He feels like part of the group when he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone appreciates giving and receiving all love languages to some extent.
Yes.
As an example, I know you like receiving gifts that mean something. It's not a monetary value thing. And for people who gift giving is their giving or receiving, it's never a monetary value thing.
No.
It's a sentimental value thing.
Yes.
It has to mean something. When we first started doing this podcast, I was ordering all these Star Wars tchotchkes off the Disney site. I needed to get like $28 more in my cart to get free shipping. I have like 7 Star Wars hoodies. I didn't want another one. I don't wear the ones I have. So I got you that stupid Ahsoka hoodie.
Yeah.
That has no top of the sleeves.
Yeah.
Because the only other Ahsoka hoodie they had only came in double XL.
It would have been very cozy though.
I honestly considered it. Because you would have looked hilarious wearing it, and for no other reason than that. Because I know you would have done like the big kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it was practical for me to get free shipping, and I know it's something you would like because it's something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
But gift giving is not a love language of mine in any way, so I just gave it to you and moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Glad you like it. I barely thought of it since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But everyone likes every love language to some extent or another.
Oh yeah.
There are just certain ones
sure.
that really do push your buttons in just the right way.
Absolutely.
And there are some that really do drive people crazy in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I know personally, I hate getting gifts, even if they're sentimental, even if there's something I really like.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it because I hate the idea that someone went out of their way to do something like that for me.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that idea. I
Yeah.
love that that they did it, but I hate that someone took time out of their day
Right.
to. It just makes me uncomfortable. I don't like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like I don't.
It's why I don't get you anything.
Yeah. Please, for the love of God, never change.
It's why I don't get you things.
Like,
I don't think I've ever gotten you anything.
I mean, aside from you showed up with coffee a couple times.
Yeah.
That's different. But
I've never gotten you a thing.
Yeah, because I would thank you for it and mean it,
Yeah.
but be very uncomfortable receiving it.
Yeah. But mostly because I'm not much of a gift giver myself.
And neither am I.
Unless it's I saw something, I thought of you, here it is. But only to people that I know would appreciate it.
The only time I ever saw, well, not the only time, but most recently, I have a friend who's a big fan of the original and the remake of Battlestar Galactica. I saw online for $8, this metal Battlestar Galactica officer's flight wings.
Yeah.
It's $8.
Yeah.
Got it. Gave it to him. He loved it.
Yeah.
The only reason I did that is because as soon as I saw them, all I could think is, oh, yeah, he would love that. And done. There it is. Be honest, this was 2 years ago. I've never asked him about it since. I've never seen him wear it, and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I saw it, and because my first thought was, oh, this reminds me of this person. That's why.
Yeah.
Usually I'm terrible at giving gifts. I don't know what anybody wants. And also, I don't know what I want for gifts because I buy myself the stuff that I want.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not much of a gift giver. I really have to think about it.
Especially with the holidays coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me forever to get gifts for my partner and his parents. And I didn't get anything for my friends, mostly because I'm broke. But also
this year for the holidays, you get my love and affection.
There you get me.
Congratulations.
I am the gift.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Cool. Seems to be what you got me last year. I didn't like it then. So
but but every once in a while, I'll see something and I'll be like, oh, I know somebody that would like this. A couple weekends ago, I went to Nashville and there was this really cool little flea market. It was called the Punk Rock Flea Market.
Yeah, I've been.
And it was so fucking cool. It was so cool. I had never been to one and I was like, this is dope as shit. So
I can see you hating flea markets except that one.
It was really fucking cool.
It's like someone designed a flea market with you in mind.
Yeah, pretty much. Because punk bands were playing.
Yeah.
And I have such a soft spot for punk rock. So I was all in for it. And it was independent vendors. So small business. I'm always all in for supporting small business. And I got these fucking dope ass boots and
that make you normal person height.
Yeah, pretty much. I am now the size of an adult rather than the size of a child.
A small adult, but yeah,
right. And
Lil is tiny. That's the joke.
Yes, I am a small.
She's travel size.
Yes, I am a small. I can literally fit pretty comfortably in the fetal position in a large suitcase.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm making fun of you. I'm exactly average height for an adult male. So
right.
I'm not tall by any means. I'm just not a munchkin. So
right.
yeah.
But I found really funny stickers for some friends.
Yep.
So I found a sticker of a buff Jar Jar Binks for my friend's boyfriend. And so I was I was staying at their house. So
he's a gym bro.
Yeah. So I went back to their house and I was like, I got you something. And he was like, what? And so I gave it to him and he was like, this is the most incredible thing.
But because you don't give gifts, I understand people going, wait, you did a what now?
Yeah, I'm like, it's something dumb. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's something small and dumb, but I thought you would like it. And he was like, this is the most incredible thing ever. He's
Yeah.
like, thank you. I love this. And he like put it on his computer. And then I left her a death metal Taylor Swift sticker because she loves Taylor Swift. She is absolutely a Swiftie.
I got my sister a Taylor Sith poster.
Nice.
It's like a full poster of Taylor Swift as a Sith.
That's incredible. Yeah, she texted me the day after I left. She was like, thank you so much for that death Taylor Swift. Like, it's incredible. And I'm like, I thought it was hilarious and thought you would appreciate. She's like, it's so fucking funny.
See, everyone appreciates every love language to some extent or another, both giving and receiving.
Yeah, and it was such a small little thing. They were literally like $1. Like, they were small. I got another friend a sticker that says, now that's what I call hyperfixation. Like, just dumb little stickers, dumb little things. I saw each one and thought, I know someone who will appreciate this.
Yep.
And so I got them because they were just dumb and small and silly.
Now we have to cover the love language that you and I probably have the most trouble with because we've done words of affirmation.
Yeah.
We've done acts of service.
Yes.
Gifts.
Yes.
Let's see. We did quality time.
Mm-hmm.
The one you and I probably struggle with equally is physical touch. Like, okay, this is a hard one. So, okay, as a straight dude, I have some friends who are women, who are straight women, whose love language is physical touch.
Yeah.
However, you have to know someone well enough to actually do that. Like,
yeah.
if you were to introduce me to one of your friends who I never met and tell me that her love language was physical touch and I started getting all handsy with her, that's not me expressing anything other than super rapey vibes.
Yes.
Physical touch is one of the hard ones.
Yeah.
And I think for you and I, we simply don't enjoy it. Depending on who's doing it.
Yeah. I don't like being touched by most people.
I'm with you on that one. I have a core group of exceptions to that.
Yes. And the thing is, there is a physical touch is not always a sexual thing.
And this is where most people tend to misunderstand it.
Yes. So during 2020, I struggled a lot with not having physical touch.
During the pandemic, it's not one of my love languages, but it was killing me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I didn't realize how much I missed hugging.
Yeah.
Because I am a hugger with my friends.
So am I. And so are most of my friends.
Yeah. And so I was like, I didn't realize how badly I needed that. And so the second I was able to hug somebody, I cried. And it's not like, and I live with my partner. So like I was hugging him, but like hugging somebody else, I finally was like, oh my God, this is so nice.
The one that got me, especially during the pandemic, my parents are older. They're in their 70s. I didn't see them for 18 months.
Yeah, same. I didn't see my mom.
Until they and I were fully vaccinated.
Same.
And my dad and I are very close, always have been.
Yeah.
A friend of mine sent me a video of a family reunion they had because they all got vaccinated and had a family reunion. And it's in the video, his sister hugs their dad, and I damn near started sobbing.
Yeah.
Like, didn't realize I was missing it that much.
The moment I hugged my mom, I started sobbing.
I believe that, but also your mom is adorable. I would cry if I hugged your mom. Like, your mom's adorable.
She's all of 5 foot and nothing.
She's a tiny little South American woman. And she's wonderfully. She's so great. She was very confused by me the first time that I met her.
Yes,
because she kept looking at me like, what the fuck?
I don't understand.
She's a wonderful human being. I love your mother so much. She's great. But physical touch is a really hard one because we all like it.
Yeah, in different ways. And I feel like people misunderstand that physical touch is not inherently a sexual thing.
For some people, it can be.
It can be, but
that's not.
For me personally, it's not.
No.
Most of the time, it is very much a platonic thing.
And this is
And it's very much, at least for me, platonic intimacy is so vital.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way.
I think it's more important than sexual intimacy. At least, again, for me personally, I snuggle more with my friends than I do with my partner.
I think you and I are in the same. You and I are in the same boat there, and this is kind of why I like my friend group so much. We don't have an issue with fully platonic physical contact.
Yeah,
and it's not one of my love languages. It's honestly not, but it doesn't mean it doesn't make it feel any less good.
Yes,
it's nice to it's nice to go to the bar that I always frequent, have one of my friends run up and give me a big hug.
Yeah,
it just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And this is, like we've said, this is when people tend to misunderstand. They think physical intimacy as a love language has to be sexual. And for some people, it can be, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
But it doesn't have to be. And it doesn't have to be something as, like it doesn't have to be a bear hug. It can just be a hand on a shoulder. And it can be almost nothing. As long as you're touching someone else. My ex years ago who was working on her thesis, her other love language is physical touch. That's why she wanted to be literally touching me. Even though we were doing separate things. She wanted to be in physical proximity and in physical contact with me. Now, this was also the middle of winter, so we were both fully dressed. And I mean like hoodies, sweatpants, cozy as fuck. So there's nothing sexual about it.
Yeah.
But that isn't the point.
Right.
Like, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Love languages get tricky for a lot of people because they tend to misunderstand what they are, and they tend to misunderstand, or they tend to ignore the giving and receiving part because those can be different. For some people, their giving and receiving love languages are the same.
Yeah.
Those people are very fortunate. Mine are two different things.
Mine are the same.
Yeah, lucky you. So fuck you.
It just happened to work out that way because I didn't receive words of affirmation growing up.
Yeah.
So I need it, and then I like to make sure that people get what I didn't get.
But also, and this is the big thing with love languages, is it's important to, with friends, with your partners, you need to know what their giving and receiving love languages are so you can properly interact with them. This isn't pandering. You're not.
No.
Yeah.
It's to accommodate.
Yeah.
When I figured out that, my partner's love language, receiving was quality time, I accommodated to that.
Yeah.
I'm not a quality time person most of the time.
But
not that I don't like spending quality time with people. I do. I'm just very much, I like being alone. My quality time is by myself.
Yep.
I like being alone. I love being by myself.
This is something I've actually had to explain to women that I've started dating, is like sometimes I will say, I don't want to hang out tonight.
Yeah.
And I don't mean with you, I mean with anyone.
I need to be alone.
Yeah, I need to be by myself and recharge my batteries.
Yeah, I have peopled.
Yeah.
And I have peopled enough, and I don't want to.
Yeah. And for some people who are very extroverted, that's hard to understand.
Yes. And my partner is not extroverted I'm more of an extrovert than he is, and I am by no means an extrovert.
Not even a little bit.
Like, I am incredibly introverted.
The only reason you are this talkative on this podcast is because you and I are the only two people in the room.
Correct. Correct.
If we added a producer that you were not fully comfortable with, this podcast would be me and you saying the occasional word.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, if I did not know the person, I would be like, I don't know you.
That's why the first time you and I met, we agreed that the best thing for us to do to be able to have a conversation was to drink heavily.
And to make sure that no one else was around. Like, that's why we sat outside.
Yep. And away from people.
Yeah.
But you and I both are like, okay, we're not terribly extroverted. I think not being around others and using alcohol as a social lubricant are going to be our best bets to actually interact like human beings.
Yeah.
And not just sit there and go,
right.
So weather's a thing.
Yeah, because I don't do small talk.
I don't either.
I hate small talk.
So much.
And
I don't care what you did at work today. Fuck off.
Yeah, like I'm just not that type of person. And I'm not extroverted. People assume that I am.
I understand where that misconception comes from.
Yeah.
But those people see you with people that you're comfortable with.
Exactly.
Like, they would assume by listening to this that you're very extroverted. You and I have known each other for 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You're comfortable enough talking around me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I am such an introvert. Like, if I don't know you very well, I'm very quiet. And I keep to myself a lot.
Yeah.
And
that's why I'm impressed that your current partner actually managed to get you to open up to him enough to become your partner. Like,
yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Because I'm not that kind of person. I'm just not an extroverted person. Like, I just can adapt to my surroundings very well.
That's why my ex and I worked out so well for so long.
Yeah.
We could sit in the same room in complete silence doing two different things.
Yeah.
We called it the adult version of the early childhood education parallel play. Like,
yeah.
It's just the adult version of that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's usually used for small children.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what we like. She hated video games. I enjoy them.
Yeah.
I would rather drink battery acid than read Emily Dickens. She loved it.
Yeah.
We didn't force each other's hobbies on each other.
Right.
She would read a novel that I think should be set on fire, while I played a video game that she wanted to run over with her car.
Right.
Like,
yeah. It's
not saying Emily Dickinson's bad. Just,
right.
It's not for me. So
right.
don't everyone freak out. Jesus.
But I
do read. Okay, I love Tolkien. Fuck off.
Tolkien is so good.
He's so good. Also, if you ever want to watch someone nerd the fuck out about Tolkien, Stephen Colbert is such a Tolkien nerd.
And I love it so
and it's amazing.
And he knows so much and I love it.
It's so great.
But yeah, like I love spending time with the people that I am comfortable with, but I'm not necessarily a quality time person. Once I have peopled, I need to be by myself, and my partner has figured that out about me.
Well, this is also
my second job is a fitness instructor, and so when I have taught, I'll get home and I'll spend a little time with him, and then I'll be like, okay, I need to go shower, and then I need to go to bed because I need to be by myself because I have peopled all night and I am very tired.
Yep.
And he's just like, okay, your battery is drained, and I'm like, I'm sleepy.
This is how it used to be when I did restaurant work or bartender for a living.
Yeah.
When you work in a restaurant, you're putting on a show. That's not.
Yeah.
If you ever came into a restaurant or bar where I was working, you were not talking to me. You were talking to the character I needed to be at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But at the time, the woman I was dating, she also worked in a bar, and she was the same way. One of us would get home first. When the other got home, we would have 15 minutes together. How was your day? Mm-hmm. And then both of us agreed, nope, we can be in the same room. We just need to not people for a bit.
Right.
And we both knew that. Mm-hmm. And that was fine because we were both just mentally exhausted by all the peopling. The times that I think you and I are the same in this, where we're the most comfortable peopling, even when we're tired, is with people who we know really well. And going back to the topic of this episode, people whose love languages we know real well and know ours.
Yes.
Because those are people that know you well enough and you know well enough to be able to interact without having to really work at it.
Yeah. And he knows when I have like been peopled out.
Yep.
Especially if I've done 3 classes in a row.
Yeah.
Like I'll come home, he'll be downstairs, he'll hear me come home.
It's the quick physical intimacy of hello, how was your day? Great, yours, cool, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. He's basically like, how were classes? They were good. How was your day? It was good. He'll give me a quick little boop on the nose. I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. I'm real sleepy. And he's like, okay. And then I go to bed and that's it.
Yep.
Like he knows that I have been drained and I can't.
Yep. And that's actually one of the, especially with someone who knows, I've always, looked at love languages like interpersonal batteries. Mm-hmm. If you spend an entire day with people who, If you spend an entire day with your friends,
Mm-hmm.
18 hours, a full day with your friends, even after those 18 hours, you could still spend time with your friends.
Yeah.
They know you.
Yes.
They can see when you're getting uncomfortable. They can see when you're getting tired, and they can adjust. And you can do the same for them.
Yes.
But with strangers, especially people who don't know you, you're, especially like with you teaching or me bartending, you're in the service role. So you're catering to whatever they want.
Yeah. And I love my students. For the record, I don't know if any of my students are going to be listening to this, but I adore my students. I am not saying that any of my students wear me out. They don't.
It's just an exhausting thing to do.
They give me so much life and so much energy. They make me feel so accomplished.
It's just an exhausting thing to do. That has nothing to do with your students. Yeah.
Fitness instructing is exhausting because it's a physical thing.
I loved every second of bartending.
Yeah, I
loved it so much.
I love my second job. I absolutely love what I do, and I love providing that to my students. My students don't wear me out. The physical activity wears me out.
Yeah.
So it's just tiring, and I'm like, I need to go to bed.
Now,
but like spending time with my friends, never, like especially my group of friends that I go to shows with, I can literally spend an entire week with them, and still at the end of the week, I am sad saying goodbye to them.
Yep.
Because they don't drain me.
Yes. And honestly, and this is the other thing about love language people tend to overlook. If you spend a lot of time with people who know yours and you know theirs, you know how to look, you know how to see when they're starting to get a little drained and adjust a little bit to help them kind of bounce back.
And that's exactly what we do. We know each other well enough that spending time with one another, we can go, well, we've been out. Why don't we stay in and just watch a movie? Why don't we order some pizza? Why don't we just stay quiet? Why don't we, and we've gotten an Airbnb and we've gone out to a show, and then we've come to the Airbnb and we've ordered a pizza, and we've literally sat in the same room and each read a book.
Yeah.
Or played games on our phones. And stayed silent. We have been quiet in the same room together, and it was lovely. It was so wonderful.
I think our record for sitting in silence in the same room together was something like 6.5 or 7 hours.
Yeah, and it was so wonderful. Yeah. We don't get tired of each other's company.
One of my favorite moments with a good friend of mine, and she is, for the record, she is 100% gay, and at the same time, the most feminine woman I've ever known in my life. It's incredible. But she and I have been friends since we were 13. Every now and then, because she lives in Cleveland, which is 4 hours from here-ish. 3 the way I drive. Speed limits are suggestions. When we do hang out, one of the times I went to Cleveland for a show. I crashed with her and at her parents' house. Her parents were out of town. I was going to drive home after the show, but it's Cleveland, and it was January, so, snow. I wasn't going anywhere.
Yuck.
We sat in the same room 14 hours. I slept for a couple hours, played some video games. We didn't talk the whole time. At one point, she left and walked up to Wendy's and came back. She threw one bag of food at me. She had her own bag of food. We did not speak. We've been friends for long enough that that's simply... we know each other.
I love that.
Yeah. But we've been friends for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And we didn't need to.
Yeah.
Those people, the ones that don't tax your social battery.
Yeah.
The ones whose love languages and they know yours, you can spend days with. And this is the other love language misconception. Nothing about a love language is romantic. People hear love language and they assume it must be a dating or
must be romantic.
It must be romantic. It's not.
No,
it's not.
It
Nothing about how you and I interact could ever be construed as romantic.
Oh God, no.
For the love of God, if that's what you think you're hearing, seek help.
Yeah. Love languages are not strictly romantic. It's
It's
not
simply
just for
your inner person, how you prefer to
interact.
Yeah,
it's not just for relationships. It is for friendships. It's for family.
it's for business relationships.
Yeah,
it's for everything.
Understanding how you interact with another human being.
Let me give you the business example of this. While I was working in restaurants, in one of them, we had our kitchen staff was me and 6 other dudes and one woman. She was amazing at her job. Like, she could do everything better than all of us could. But she was in college and only worked part-time, and she really wasn't interested in any kind of promotions. I figured out early on that she worked better if every now and then we made a point to be like, hey, you're doing a great job. It didn't have to be anything more specific than that. Just simply to say it out loud.
Words of affirmation.
Because she liked that we noticed.
That recognition.
And we recognized it and made a point to say it. And we meant every word of it. She was amazing at her job. But I very quickly realized that if I made that small effort to say that out loud, it made her night better. And if her night was better, she worked better. There's nothing romantic there at all.
No, of course not.
She wanted to hear it. It was honest. It made her job performance better. It made her happier and therefore easier to work with. Great. There it is.
Yep.
Love languages don't have to be anything that's anything more than knowing how to interact with somebody else.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
They can be deeply personal and deeply romantic, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
But they don't have to be.
No.
And like we said, the hard one in that is physical touch.
Yeah.
People who's receiving love language is physical touch tend to bump into people like you and me who would rather not touch other people unless we know them really well.
Yeah.
And then we're like, hey, I know your love language is physical touch and I would very much love to hug you. How about a pat on the head?
Yeah. Like I said, I am a hugger with a lot of my friends.
But you know your friends.
But I know my friends.
Yeah.
And, you know, I am definitely somebody who, if somebody wants a hug, I would love to give them a hug. But I always ask.
Because you don't want to make that assumption.
No. And I always, if somebody is feeling emotional, I always ask them, like, would you like a hug? I am happy to give them a hug because I am a hugger. I am a hugger. And I do appreciate when somebody asks me, like, can I give you a hug? Like, absolutely, you can give me a hug.
I have a story about you in that vein. This is the first 6 months or so that you and I have been hanging out, and a friend of mine passed away. I didn't tell you that a friend of mine passed away because you and I didn't know each other that well at this point.
Yeah.
But we were hanging out, and you kept poking me, being like, why are you sad? Why are you sad? Talk to me. Why are you sad? Because that's how you and I interact. We figured that out really quick.
Yeah.
And I just said, no, I'm sad. And you stopped. Like, you stopped for a minute, and I could almost hear you thinking, and you went, oh, I know what'll work. And you just, big old bear hug. Because you knew I'd be okay with it. And you knew that I would like it. You didn't know why. Didn't have to. That's what you thought I needed, and based on our interaction till that point, you figured that's a reasonable assumption.
Yeah.
People whose love language is physical touch will get more comfort than you can ever know out of a moment like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what they want.
Yeah.
My love language is not physical touch.
Yeah.
But I'd known you for a while at least. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I get it. You were attempting to be helpful in a very you and annoying kind of way. Got it. This is where being comfortable with somebody comes into play. If someone gets your love language wrong, but you're friends with them, you can overlook it and be like, nope, I get it. They took a swing, and I understand.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Like, I hate getting gifts.
Yeah.
But when someone gets me something, I can be like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I hate being on the receiving end of acts of service. Doesn't mean I appreciate them any less.
Oh yeah, of
Like,
course. I mean, it's the same thing. Like it's not that I dislike necessarily receiving gifts or
It just
being on
feels
the receiving
awkward.
end of acts of service. I just feel weird.
Yeah, you're like, I
because
should
I'm
do
like,
something in return.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like
What do I do
get
with my hands?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what to do with my hands. But, I will always appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's just
It's just awkward as fuck.
yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing like when somebody I don't know touches me, I'm like, fuck. But it's mostly complete strangers. When complete strangers touch me, that's when I'm like, the fuck are you doing?
And that's
I
actually
go back for a fucking swing.
that's
And-
different from love languages. More like, hey, like don't like,
Yeah.
since you are female presenting,
Yeah.
there is that whole thing of, hey, don't grope the woman you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Exactly.
Uh,
It's a little bit different for me because I'm female presenting and
see,
somebody touches me and I'm just like, the fuck are you doing? Do you fucking mind?
there's one of my favorite moments at a concert ever. I couldn't even tell you who the band was. There was a girl standing in front of us who could not have been older than like 19. Very attractive, incredibly attractive.
Yeah.
And this guy walks up to older dude. I mean, like 40s, and I was like maybe 25. This older guy walks up to her and just slaps her on the ass and then holds his hand there. And for 1 second, I was like, oh, they have to know each other, because I mean, who the fuck would do that? They did not know each other, and her response was to turn around and deck him hard enough that he went out cold.
Fucking good.
Glass jaw down and out. And the bartender at the venue saw that happen, and you just hear from the bar, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a perfect right hook. Like, and
Why do men?
yeah. I've asked that question a lot because I have to apologize for people like that a lot. I mean, shit, even security came over and the bartender was like, no, leave him. Leave him. Is he breathing? Leave him.
Let people walk on him.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
And like,
Keep your fucking hands to yourself.
yeah. Now,
Shouldn't be that hard.
if they had known each other and she was comfortable with someone she knows doing that,
That's different.
that's completely different. A friend of mine that I've known for years, if I did that to her at a concert, she would look at me and go, why are you only using one hand? Because it's
Right.
funny. Like,
Yeah.
because we know each other.
Exactly. I grab my friends' asses all the fucking
Yeah.
time. During Here Come the Mummies shows, my friends
By the way, I am honestly stunned that we have done this many episodes of Hopeless and Bitter, and and this is the first time you've mentioned the Mummies. I have been waiting for it.
Oh my god. Is it the first time?
I have been waiting for it.
So my favorite band is Here Come the Mummies,
Oh, shit.
and
I just turned this into a Here Come the Mummies
everybody
podcast.
should go listen to them.
I just turned this into a Here Come the Mummies podcast, didn't I?
No, but we should do a full episode of them about them because they're my favorite band
I don't
ever.
disagree. I actually love them. So.
They're incredible, and yet you still have not gone to see them. I'm
Oh,
disappointed.
I've
in you.
seen them live. It's just been a while.
You need to go see them again because they're amazing. Anyway,
You know that I do other shit, right? Like, most of it doesn't pay that well. So
their shows are really inexpensive.
their shows also aren't in my living room. So
Whatever. Excuses.
when they are here, let me know and I will go to the show.
Okay, good. I'm holding you to that. Anyway,
And I've said it on. I can edit that out. No one heard it. It's fine.
but I'm gonna know.
Okay, the way you said that just sent a cold shiver down my spine. So,
Anyway, but so my group of friends, we do this thing during the song "Pants," which is the song everybody fucking knows.
it's the one I know. So yeah, it's the one everybody knows.
Yeah, it's the song everyone knows from Bob and Tom. But we like grab each other's boobs like during the show. Like we'll just be like, boop. And of course the band is just like, the fuck is happening? Like, this is great.
I guarantee you that's not the weirdest thing they've seen from the stage.
From the front row specifically, no, because the front row does some wild shit. We are the front row. Like my group of friends, the front row, because we are the ones that go to the most shows.
So you're like one step below stalkers.
I guess. So 2023 alone.
I like you didn't argue with that. You're like, I mean, fine.
Yeah. I don't know where they live. I know they're in Nashville. That's it. That's all I know.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's all I know.
Okay.
That's all I know. But just in 2023, I went to 31 shows.
Jesus fucking Christ. I probably went to 31 shows in 2023, but not all of the same band. Like,
Just Mummies. And I have no problem saying that.
A friend of mine who lives in Las Vegas is so I don't know if she's still doing it, but while Britney Spears was doing her residency there, saw Britney Spears 77 times.
Wow.
It's the same show every time, too.
See, Mummies, like, it's different every time. Like, because they're always doing different shenanigans.
I won't see the same movie more than 2 or 3 times. Like,
oh, no.
with the exception of, like, Star Wars, but that's another podcast. But yeah.
But, like, I've seen the Mummies. I've been following them almost 12 years now.
Jesus.
And I've seen them. I think we're creeping up on almost 200 times. Like, I've seen them a lot.
Yeah, I don't know how we haven't done a Mummies episode of this podcast yet.
We will.
You realize we're going to have at least one of them on with us for that, right?
I don't know how, because I don't know any of them.
I've seen them live exactly twice. You have a better chance of asking them than I do. So
I don't know any of them, so I'm not really sure.
But they'll recognize you as, oh, isn't that girl that follows us around?
They know me. Yes.
Yeah.
They know me.
Which means you could ask. This is where. And we're actually gonna do
I might be able to make something happen.
Well, so we're gonna do an episode.
It would have to be like a virtual type of situation.
I assumed as much.
Yeah, because they're, like I said, they're in Nashville. Maybe I could see if the lead singer Cass would be willing.
Hey, as someone who spent 11 years touring with a bunch of bands as a musician and a production specialist, we'll have a lot to talk about. So
yeah. I'll see what I can finagle.
Yeah.
This has turned into a whole different podcast.
Yeah. This has also meant that Lil's just now, like, I can almost smell your brain working. Like,
I wonder what I can make happen.
This is actually, and so, okay, we're going to wrap up the love languages episode real quick.
This veered off.
Oh, they all do. Love languages are actually critically important for any kind of relationship.
Yes.
Mostly because it means you understand how someone likes to interact with others.
Yeah.
And, business, friends, anything romantic. Doesn't matter. Knowing someone's love languages, giving and receiving, because those can be different.
Yes.
Is important. Everyone does like all of them to some extent.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As awkward as I feel when, my friend brought me chicken noodle soup while I was,
It was so nice.
It's the sweetest thing in the world.
Sweet.
And honestly, I just feel bad that she went out of her way in the middle of the day to do that. But I still love the effort. Yeah.
But to her, it wasn't out of her way.
Exactly.
To her, she was just doing something kind because she wanted to take care of you.
Exactly. And that is the other thing about love languages is it's important to understand them. To even if they're not yours, to know what they are, how they can manifest. So when someone does something like bring you chicken noodle soup in the middle of the day, you can understand that's where it's coming from and appreciate it for what that is. Also, since she does listen to these, the chicken noodle soup was amazing. By the way, it was fucking delicious. Oh my god, it was so good.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so nice.
It was so damn good.
I love it.
And
drop that recipe.
Yeah, seriously, please. I'll tell you right now, there's lemon in the stock.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hadn't thought of that one. I'm doing that from now on.
That sounds good.
I know, right? I, honest to God, like, as soon as I was like, how did you? Oh, you're a genius. That's how. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is it. It makes your relationships with people so much easier and so much more rewarding when you understand how love languages work and what people's love languages are.
Yeah.
You and I were super awkward together until we figured out that we could basically
insult each other.
Yeah. Like once we figured that out, everything became easier.
Oh, yeah. Our interactions became very smooth and very easy.
And more fun for both of us.
Yeah.
Because at first, I was trying not to be like too much me because I figured you would hate it. And you were trying not to be too much you because you figured I would hate it.
Yeah. and then I kind of figured, like, you know what? If I don't show the crazy immediately, then I don't know what I'm going to do when the crazy accidentally comes out.
Yep. And this is actually going to be the next, probably one of the next Hopeless and Bitter episodes is everyone has their own amount of crazy.
Be
you have
your fucking self.
Yeah. But how to be okay with that?
Yes.
Because a little preface, like a preface for our next episode. I'm not terribly extroverted.
Same.
So meeting new people is really hard for me. And I really do have to force myself to be outgoing until I get comfortable with people. Mm-hmm. That's why dating is always really hard for me because you have to be outgoing at first just to get to know somebody.
Right.
And it's hard for me to do that without very much going into character.
Yeah.
And that character is usually like a caricature of who I actually am. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that without giving someone the wrong impression of who you are as a person? It's tough. It can be really hard.
Yeah.
But Lil and I have both been on both sides of that with each other.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can help explain that. And you'll get some really, really stupid stories from the early part of our friendship. There are so many. Good God. Like, we could do a 2-hour episode that's just like going back and forth. Hey, remember the time you did this?
Oh my God. Remember the time you actually tried to date me?
Oh God, what the fuck was wrong? Did I hit my head? Was I drunk?
No, I think you just really wanted a girlfriend.
I think that would.
You really wanted a girlfriend.
And you just happened to be
and
there.
I happened to be there.
That's honestly going to be another Hopes and Bitter
Don't
episode.
just date somebody because they're there.
Yeah, proximity is not the same as feelings.
Trust me. Because I laughed in your face.
Which was 100% the right thing for you to do. Like, seriously, that was the correct response.
Oh, God.
The only reason you and I have been friends for this long is because when I was that stupid, you looked at me and went, hey, guess what you are right now? Fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's why we've been friends.
Yep.
And honestly, hey, men, anyone who dates female presenting people, this is good advice. There's no such thing as the friend zone. I have to say this now. There's no such thing.
No.
Being friends with someone is a valid state for a relationship to be in.
Yes.
Let me explain to you this way, because there's no video for this. I know you haven't seen what Lil looks like. Lil's hot. And yes, Lil and I have had a ridiculous amount of sex. 15 years ago.
Yes. Yeah. For about a year solid.
Yeah. But that was literally because we weren't currently having sex with anyone else. Yep. So, I mean, that works. Despite the fact that Lil is incredibly attractive and we've previously had sex, this friendship is not weird.
No.
Because we're friends.
No.
And I love that I have to explain this. Oh, no, I hate that I have to explain this, but I know who needs to hear this explanation. It's okay to be friends with someone that you want to have sex with, but are not currently having sex with. If I made a list right now of everyone that I want to have sex with, it would take me the rest of the year. Like, I'm a straight dude. Sex is fun.
Yeah.
I know a lot of attractive women who I would like to have sex with.
Yeah.
But I'm friends with all of them because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
If your options in interacting with someone are to have no relationship or just be friends, pick friends. It's okay.
There's nothing wrong with just being friends with somebody.
And I don't get... There's no such thing as the friend zone. There's just not. If someone doesn't want to date you, it hasn't. It's never because they've put you in a special relationship box.
No,
that's not how people work. And if anyone
Right.
does work that way, they need to seek help right now.
and just because you're nice to somebody doesn't mean they owe you anything. Just want to make that incredibly fucking
Buying a
clear.
woman a drink is not a legally binding contract that she will touch your tiny penis. Good God. Ugh.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to say that. but
Some dudes are so stupid. It's just mind-boggling.
again, I ask, why men?
Men don't have answer for that.
Just question, men?
Yeah, one don't know.
Men? Question mark.
The one that got him, never. We're gonna end after this little story because these episodes tend to get kind of long. There's a bar near here that where my friends and I usually go because we know the
Yeah.
staff and it's our
It's your bar.
comfort bar. Yeah.
of course.
And we live near college. College kids wander in there on not frequently, but sometimes. And this usually the ones who make it into this bar are the ones that we will tolerate and have hope of being decent people at some point. They're not there
Sure.
yet, but they have hope.
Sure.
And one of them, who was not one of the decent people, he bought this woman a couple drinks, and then she and her friends went to leave, and he got really upset that she was leaving, not with him.
She doesn't owe you anything.
He didn't try to stop her from leaving by any means. He wasn't like grabbing her or anything,
Right.
which is the only thing he did right. He just very vocally explained to the whole bar how he'd spent $18 worth of drinks, and apparently a night in bed with her costs $18 in his brain somehow.
She doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah. And
Also, you didn't ask.
yeah.
It's not like you said, "Hey, would you like to leave with me?"
Yeah. So
It is not transactional, my guy.
yeah. He didn't understand that because I assume he was around 21, 22 and
Oh, so he's stupid. Also,
age doesn't help with that. So,
I mean, his brain was not fully developed. A man's brain does not fully develop until supposedly 25. I'm not convinced of that.
mine's a little slower. I'm 38. I'm not sure it's fully there yet.
It's
so.
not.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
It's not.
I'm cool with that. No, I've just given up on the whole becoming a mature adult at any point. It's not happening. It's just not. And yeah, no. It's just, in my early 30s. I thought, oh no, maybe that'll happen. As I approach 40. I'm now approaching 40. Nope,
Not there.
Not here. I almost laughed till I wet myself when someone told a pull my finger joke the other day. Absolutely not a mature adult by any means. But no, seriously, if you're confused about love languages, just Google them. There are so many websites that will explain them to you in either very generic terms or in excruciating detail.
Yes.
And it's worth looking up. There
Yeah.
really is. I found most of my relationships with most people got a lot easier once I understood what the different love languages were. And once I figured out what mine are,
Yeah.
it's worth the time to take to actually learn it. It really is. And as much as we always say that our advice occasionally stumbles into something useful,
I think this is actually pretty good because love languages are super, super important. Even if you don't want to take the time to learn someone else's, learn your own at least.
Yeah.
Because knowing your own, you will learn so much about yourself.
Yeah.
Because once I figured out mine, I not only figured out what I like to hear from other people, I figured out my fucking trauma and healed from it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Thanks, therapy.
I mean, let me just give you a fun example. I used to hate. I'm an aspiring screenwriter, and by that I mean I've sold a short. I'm not going to make it, but I sold it, and they paid me for it, so I don't care. But
I got money.
yeah, not a lot, but still. But I used to. I've been writing since I was a teenager, but I would never show it to anybody. 15 years ago, you and I became friends, and I learned that one of my love languages is words of affirmation. I didn't know that until recently. I realized that I don't want to hear compliments. I want to hear sincere and honest feedback about who I am as a person, the art I make, the things I do. And I can ask people like you and my other friends for honest feedback and get honest and even if that feedback's negative, even if it's, hey, this thing you wrote is fucking garbage, that's still honest feedback. Learning that about yourself will help you interact with the world around you. It just will. I don't have an easier way to explain that. Yeah. It just makes the world easier to deal with.
It absolutely does.
And the world generally kind of sucks.
Yeah.
So anything that makes it a little easier, absolute win. And we could go on and on for days about why this is important. It just is.
Yeah.
We're right. I mean,
just listen to us.
Yeah, like
we're correct.
I don't have another way to put this. We're right.
Sorry.
That doesn't frequently happen, so I'm enjoying this moment. Not usually right about a lot of things.
You're definitely not.
No, God, no.
I am.
Should we make a chart of my dating history and just go through that? Because there are 2 women on that who dated me and then decided they were gay. So I've also decided that apparently I am the temporary home of boyfriends, because usually women date me and then marry the next guy that they.
Oh, you're the foster boyfriend.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Everyone has a role to play. That's mine. You ever want an awkward moment? Try getting a wedding invite in the mail from a woman you broke up with 6 months ago. That's a fun moment.
Oh.
They got married in 6 months. That was quick. They got divorced a year and a half later, but still.
Oh, Jesus.
That's what happens when you get married in 6 months. Don't do that. Like, yeah, if you're going to get married, good for you. Just, take some time.
Take some time. I mean, I've been with my partner 11 years and we're still not, and we're not gonna.
But marriage is not who you are as a person.
And that's very true.
Yeah. If you were to get married, I would not be surprised that you were marrying your partner. I'd be surprised you were getting married. It would not be a surprise that it was you and your partner doing that. It would just be like, wait, Lil's doing what?
Are you okay?
Honestly, I would assume that either you wanted to get married before your mom were about to die or something.
Oh no, she literally is like, just don't.
Okay, well then,
because her advice when my sister got married was, please elope. And I said, oh, I'm not getting married. And she went, oh, even better.
Yeah. Honestly, after 6 weddings, my parents are have looked at me and my brother and been like, I mean, if you want to, cool.
Yeah.
But we don't have a preference here, to be honest. Dad's walked 6 women down the aisle. He's fine.
I have no desire.
His only upside for me is that he's paid for 6 weddings. And he's just like, thank God I cannot pay for it. I literally have no more daughters. I cannot pay for any more weddings.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just not. I just don't want to.
Yeah.
I have no desire.
I will at some point with the right person, or I won't. I don't honestly have a preference either way.
Yeah.
If a woman that I'm with for a long time wants to have a big ass wedding, great. I will be a part of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will say the greatest wedding I ever went to, and these are friends of mine who are fucking geniuses. They had the formal ceremony on a Saturday morning at 11 a.m. The ceremony is at 11, followed by a lovely catered lunch at a very formal, nice venue.
Yeah.
They only invited 40 people to that. Close family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then that night, they rented out our favorite bar, booked 3 bands, did a short recreation of the wedding ceremony with a friend of ours.
Yeah.
Actually officiating. And then we just got drunk and partied all night.
Nice.
And that was the wedding that most of us went to.
Nice.
That was awesome.
That's great.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was all 3 bands were ska, but other than that, it was great.
I love ska bands.
Ska is
You shut up.
what plays in a 13-year-old boy's head when someone says punk music.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
But that's the kind of wedding I would want to have. Or I'm a big old nerd. It's going to be a Star Trek wedding. You know me. That would make sense.
Yeah, I would do Star Wars, but yeah.
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 Jar Jar Binks is the officiant.
Obviously.
Who else?
Misa gathered here today.
And on that note, if you want to hear our other Star Wars podcast, you can find it on YouTube and Spotify at Babylon Bullshit. It is called The Nerdcast. Right now we are doing Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
We've done Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a lot more, but let's be honest, some of our proto episodes are real embarrassing because we
ended up kind of like this, where we just rambled.
Yeah, but I mean, the name of the channel is Babble and Bullshit. We're gonna babble about bullshit.
That's true. That's fair. I did come up with that name, so you're welcome.
You did, and honestly, it's pretty fucking great.
I know. I'm brilliant.
I'm actually really impressed. You had a good idea.
I
That doesn't
know.
happen frequently.
I come up with a lot of good ideas, you asshole.
Yeah, but you don't vocalize them to me, so I don't. How the fuck would I know? Like, I'm not just gonna assume that you have a bunch of good ideas. I have like two a year, and I tell the entire fucking world. So.
That's fair.
But yeah, you can find us on Spotify and YouTube at Babylon Bullshit. The Nerdcast and Hopeless and Bitter are both on there.
Yeah.
We also have our Patreon as a placeholder currently that will eventually have some video content and merch as we get things up and going.
And probably some of those proto episodes.
Yeah.
So that you can hear the hot mess.
It's going to be a Babylon Bullshit blooper reel, honestly.
It's going to be great. You're going to love them because I love them. I'm kind of sad that they didn't get released yet because I love them.
I still have them all. I really do.
They're so good.
I think, and
I'm proud of them.
They're honestly, a lot of them are very ridiculous in the best possible way.
I love them. I'm so proud of them.
But they are going to eventually be up on the Patreon. In the meantime...
Only if you pay for them. They're going to be behind a paywall.
We have to make some money for this. Cameras are not cheap. Microphones are not cheap.
No, they're not.
We do this in my apartment because I can't afford a studio.
Yeah, we're broke.
Which makes less sense when I do pay for studio space, which is where my drum kit is. I would just have to pay extra to use it on another day for us to record this, and I can't afford the extra.
Yeah, and I can't always make it down here every week.
Yeah, so if I'm paying for it every week and we can't use it every week, the Jew in me would just flip the fuck out. So somebody would show up and take away my Jew card, and it's not a real thing. It's just I actually am Jewish. I've had a bar mitzvah and everything. It was very awkward.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed to laugh at that, but
oh, sure you are. It's fine. That's laughing too much at that. No, you need to chill.
Too much laughing. Stop it.
But yeah, so it's Babylon Bullshit on YouTube and Spotify. You can also find us on Instagram at Babylon BS.
Yes.
If you message that account, you'll be talking to Lil because
I handle the social media.
And I would not respond. Like I would see the message. I would just forget to respond. But our next episode of Hopeless and Bitter is going to be covering more topics of dating and interpersonal relationships that we are in no way qualified to give you advice on.
No, not even a little bit.
But we're still going to.
Yeah, we're still going to talk about it because we can.
Yeah, because I have microphones. So why the fuck not?
Yeah.
In the meantime, feel free to comment any topics you would like us to cover for Hopeless and Bitter.
Yeah, if you want advice about anything.
Yeah, questions you may have, general topics that might be fun for us to talk about.
Yeah.
We're going to do a whole episode at some point of just answering people's questions, mostly our friends at first, but just answering questions.
Yeah.
Because why the fuck not?
Yeah. We have the fucking microphones.
And apparently we're doing Here Come the Mummies episode now.
That'll probably be on a separate thing, not on Hopeless and Bitter. It'll probably be a separate short thing.
If we get one of the mummies on the show, I guarantee you're not going to let it be a short episode.
No. No, it won't be a short episode, but I don't know what I would talk about is the thing.
Oh, you'll find something.
I think it'll mostly be you interviewing one of them about the music thing, I'll just be like, "Hi, I like your music. I go to a lot of your shows, and you probably think I'm weird."
I mean, to be fair, you are weird.
Oh no, I'm very weird. But yeah, it'll probably be me just, fangirling and going like, "I'm in the front row of all of your shows because I have nothing better to do with my life, and I like your music."
There are worse things to waste your life on.
Yeah, I could be addicted to black tar heroin.
There you go. See, that's worse. I was going to say that you could be on fire. That would be worse.
That would be worse.
Those are going to some extremes, but they are technically worse.
It's true.
And on that note, please look up our Nerdcast if you enjoy Star Wars, and stick with Hopeless and Bitter if you enjoy ridiculous comedy.
Whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah. Who the fuck knows where this episode's going to go? We never do. Well, we pretend to at the beginning and then just goes off the rails immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, so our next episodes will be coming out after the new year. We hope you all have a fantastic holiday, whatever you celebrate, and a wonderful new year.
Yeah.
And I've been Will.
I've been Lilith.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye. Push the right button.
I'm good.
You fucking idiot.
Fuck.